everyone. I hope you're all doing well today. Before we proceed, I would love to wish all you gorgeous and amazing women a very happy Women's Day. You know, the one thing that I missed most in the lockdown, it was not able to catch up with my girlfriends, the laughter, the chatter, and the never ending conversations and whatnot. And so I decided the best way to commemorate the International Women's Day and our age old friendship was to spend time together. And so, voila, here we are this afternoon filled with fun, female camaraderie, women inspiring women. And I really hope you love it because we're going to have a lovely time. So, before I introduce my panelist, I must tell you a little bit about themselves. They are women who are inspirational. They stand tall with their success story, and they have been amazing trailblazers in their field. And most important, I've known them for over a decade. So it's my proud privilege to introduce them to you. I would like to start with Mrs. Indra Kameshwaran. Hello, Indraka, whom I call Indraka.
Hello, Renu.
Uh,
Thank you for having me in this panel.
it's absolutely my pleasure, Indraka. And I would love you to introduce yourself and tell the audience a little bit about yourself, what you do professionally, and all your success stories to reach in the leadership position that you are, your work life balance, and then how important today's International Women's Day is to you. So we'd love to hear more from you, Indraka.
Thank you, Renu. As you said, I'm the director of Madras ENT Research Foundation Private Limited and also the secretary of Madras ENT Research Foundation Charitable Trust. The Madras ENT Research Foundation is one of the leading ENT hospitals in the country, and our charitable trust does charity to a tune of almost 60 to 70 lakhs per year. That is the happiness that gives all of us. I started as a career woman when I was 22 overnight, when I had to step in as a director of the hospital. It was a lot of challenge from a homemaker to a director, but common sense was my guide, and professional dignity and my hard work kept me going. And I see women balancing everything well because nature is the best judge. That's why a woman has all these challenges faced very beautifully compared to men. And I have also seen that women need education and financial support to come up in life to be empowered. I see a lot of women really studying well and coming up. So that is a hope I have for the future of women in general. And that is the message I would like to tell everyone. Puni, now I would like to ask you, now it is your turn, sorry, to introduce yourself and to talk about your success.
Good morning, everybody. On the outset, I'd like to wish everyone a very happy Women's Day. Women's Day for me is so vital and important because I've had to fight my way through everything I wanted in life. I'm a student of Church Park Convent, and then I moved on to NIT Trichy, where I was refused an admission because I was a woman. I had to literally go to the courts to challenge the diktat of the principal. And then finally he gave way and graduated out of NIT Trichy, went on to study at Cornell and Harvard universities in the US. I spent a decade in the US, and it was a lovely experience because I understood the meaning of American feminism, equal rights, how it is important to remove fear in your head, remove social conditioning that we subject to women to in this society, where we say that you're a girl, you have to end up being somebody's wife, somebody's mom, somebody's whatever it is. No one tells you, very few people at least I would say, would tell women that grow up, be yourself. And that's something I learned in the US. And I was very happy to come back in 1995 with my husband, start up a design practice called Oscar and Ponni Architects in Chennai. Today, we are doing buildings pan-India from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. And we also have built projects in the Middle East and the Far East. It has been an amazing, amazing 25, 30 years of design practice. India is, in my opinion, the best country in the world. I treasure India. I am what I am today because of my country. I also believe that every woman in this country is a nation builder. We not only give birth to the future generations, but we also contribute to the GDP. And my favorite saying is from Christian Lagarde: if a country needs to increase its GDP, then every woman has to come out of home and contribute to the GDP. It doesn't matter which level, but in a small way, in a mid-sized way, in a king-sized way. These are wonderful experiences I brought in from the US, and today I am what I am because of my country, my clients, and friends like you. It's been a wonderful, wonderful journey out here in India, and this is my message to all women: be yourself, have the strength and courage to make your own choices and meet every challenge. Choose to challenge. Thank you.
After we do have Rachna with us, and it's such an honor to have you, Rachna. Rachna, I think you're muted. Just to unmute. Rachna, you're still muted. You're muted. We can't hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So good morning, we turn into good afternoon now. And it's such a pleasure and such a glorious sight to be seeing all you guys on one screen, which we were dying to be together for these COVID times, and to be meeting at such a glorious moment like Women's Day. And I'm humbled because I have never had any struggle. I was born into a household where girls were most pampered and most welcome, and sailed through. I was 19 when I got married to Mr. Anoop and became a proud Mrs. Kumar. And my promotions were from being a wife to a mother to, sister-in-law, or daughter-in-law, and mother-in-law and a grandmother-in-law. But God was kind, and I had never to struggle to reach any positions. I just sailed into, because by the virtue of being Mrs. Anup Kumar, I became a director of a company. By the virtue of being a mother of Anant, I'm a director of another company. But what I feel were my, the marquee points, or the most strong points about myself, was being enjoyed every role that I play. When I plan my menus, I'll enjoy planning menus. And I enjoy, because when I was doing it at home, I enjoyed that role. And it is an extension of my personality. So I love hospitality, so it's so easy for me. I love people, so it's talk shows and inspiring, planting smiles is what I've always enjoyed doing, and I'm so happy doing it in Rachna style. And this is what I can say. And a Women's Day, for me, every day is a Women's Day at home, because my men in my life have always celebrated me for whatever I have done. And I have made sure that they celebrate me, because I also celebrate them as my men in my life, and they are my strength and my weakness. So this is all I can say. And thank you so much for all of you who have inspired me. Love you all. And after me is Priya, dear. So here you are.
Hey, thanks, Rachna, and lovely to see all women who matter to me today on the screen. Happy Women's Day. Professionally, I'm a marketing strategist person. Passion is to get involved in any business from idea to ideation. Passionate about changing the education system in our country and create more skilled professionals. Yes, that's been my introduction, but I must say that I came from a family with women who worked, and I always thought that's the way life is going to be. But then I got married to a service officer, which made that every year I would be in new places. So I had to make a career out of my own while My husband had one. So many of us believe that to achieve something great, we have to struggle. That doesn't have to be the case if we see something as a challenge instead. I took every opportunity as a challenge and saw success coming its way automatically. But to take the challenge, one needs to be passionate about what we are doing. And I saw my passion always overtook the obstacles and found ways to circumvent those. Yes, I'm here standing tall and I'm happy where I am. And, in an age old dilemma of home and work, I think today times are changing and everyone has got a hybrid model of working. So there is always, because I come from a software and a traditional marketing background, so women are all the time working on the cloud right now. But I think one thing that we all can do is to ensure that children from young age are taught to respect women. And irrespective of the gender, we as a society need to give equal opportunity to a boy or a girl in our family and allow them to pursue their passion. And that's very important because if you change that, I think we are heading towards a great country in the making, as we are already. And on International Women's Day, I always say every day is my day and make the most of it. And if I don't need a March 8th to remind me. That's all about me. And over to Vanita now.
Very good morning and a happy Women's Day. It's a pleasure wherein my friends are there and we are able to talk what we are. I'm an academician by profession, but by heart, I'm actually a social worker, and that is what my new designation, that is NSS Coordinator, University of Madras. My biggest challenge was when I shifted to Tamil Nadu. We were posted in very small places where I didn't have an opportunity to work. And that is how I started my career as an academician. I went to a college, and when I taught there, the smile on the face of my students, the feedback which I got made me realize this is what I want to be. And then I pursued my PhD, joined. I've lived in Chandigarh and in Chennai. I've worked in many universities, many colleges. And what I decided was it is not that maybe due to shifting to various places, I may not have a permanent job, but wherever I go, I realize I will contribute some bit of me towards education. And that is how for the past 16 years I am into education. After a certain point of time, I realized though education is one of the things which can make a change in society, actually there are so many, society has given to us so many things, and in one way or another we want to give back to the society. And that is where I started thinking about contributing to doing certain things which we can actually help the underprivileged. I feel all of us here, we have certain privileges which have come to you, and it's the time we need to give back to the society. As a woman, I feel women empowerment is when you can choose what you want to do. There should not be restraint, be it what you want to be, what career you want. Like my friend Pony was telling, it was difficult for her to get admission into a college, or sometimes we are not, there are certain cultural constraints, whatever it be, we are not able to do what we want to. That is what I want to remove, wherein if I want to wear a certain dress, I should be able to. If I want to say something, I should be able to. And that is what I want to say, that women empowerment is to choose what you want to be, what life you live, and what you want to say. That is what women empowerment is for me. Thank you. Now I pass on to Aarti.
Thank you, Vanita, and a very good afternoon to everybody here. Uh, yes, it's Women's Day, and for me, it's a celebration of women every day because fortunately, my career involves and evolves around working with a lot of women who are designers, and then my clients who are mostly women. So for me, it's being with women all the time, and I'm so grateful to see the way the women have evolved over the last few years since we started off, on this long journey of the platform that I've created called the Aarti Bagri Fashion Collection. wherein I bring in designers and jewelers from across India. And I connect people who equally love fashion. And that's the platform I have created. And during my working years in this platform, I've seen young girls who just freshly graduated from colleges, and they approach me to take part in my shows. And I've seen their journey of the years that they've evolved as designers or dwellers, and it's extremely gratifying to see that from the time I started, which was a bit of a struggle, not because I didn't get to the right college or anything, but because we were traditionally a very conservative family, and women going out and having a career was not that much encouraged. But I always felt that there is something that I need to do. And that's where the best idea for me was to take my passion and create that into something that I would like to be known with. And that's how the entire idea of bringing together this platform of designers and clients and launching exhibitions here in Chennai and brand launches came across. So for me, it's been a journey which is full of passion. I work with a lot of women, so I see a lot of women who inspire me around. I have two daughters, and I've made sure that they are equally empowered in the careers and the choices that they've made for themselves. We've all had to juggle the common way, I think, women in Indian society or any society, as a matter of fact. There is your home, which requires your attention. There's your family, your children when they are growing up, as well as if you're having a career. So it's been the normal challenges, I would say, uh, for me through my journey. And for me, women empowerment is when I work with women startups, and they come to me and they ask me that have they made the right choice, and this is a product that they believe in. Should they spend the next few years of their life trying to evolve this product and launch it in the market? So for me, that's very empowering to be able to guide a newcomer into this line, and seeing their journey through that. And we've literally had a women uh, designers who I've worked with for the last 18 years, and there were times when we were of the same age group, and then we've just grown up together, and our careers have also evolved. So for me, that's very empowering. And I work with an all women's team, so I'm happy to be on this platform where we are celebrating Women's Day today. And with that, I would like to bring the focus back on to Renuka.
Thanks, Aarti. Thank you. I mean, such inspirational stories, and I'm so proud that we've shared a friendship which is, I think, nearly a decade old, and I'm so proud of you guys. And hearing your story, it's such a privilege that we share such a close bond. So let's talk a little bit about our friendship. So Indrika, I'm going to ask you one question. It's all about friendship. So what are the telltale signs that a friendship is not healthy for you, and what would you think about this?
That's a very difficult situation to be in, and I wish I'm never put in that place. When I know a friend has said a lie about me, or said something wrong, or even broken my trust, I would be heartbroken. And initially, maybe I will think it is all, I would have gone through a denial phase. Though one part of my brain would say, look, that is a reality, you have to face it. Then I will start playing in my mind all the recent conversations, interactions I've had recently, and I will dissect them, every word, every action, and to the threadbare. And that is the first sign, that the telltale sign that something is wrong in the friendship. And that is a very bad situation. Then I will be tempted to call a common friend about whom I would like to ask, look, this is what is happening in my life. Maybe I'm imagining. Can you please help me with that? Then I will be building the trust with a problem, with a friend with whom I'm having a problem. Then again, it is a very bad sign, and I'm crossing the Lakshman Rekha and telling something very confidential about a friend so far who have had. And that is again a very bad telltale sign. And there are many more. Having sleepless nights, constantly thinking what went wrong, how did it go wrong? And that is not a very happy position to be in. If I see that person somewhere, how do I react? What do I do? Should I act normal, or should I ignore, or should I run away? Should I answer that person's phone calls? Should I not? Then should, if there's anything joy or sorrow in my life, should I share with that person? I wouldn't even like that person to hear about it. And I would not attend any common function where that person is attending. All that are the very bad telltale signs, and I wish none of us ever go through that. After having said all that, I have a very interesting question for Puni. My question is, are friends really required for our existence? And can we just do with just acquaintances? Please enlighten us, Puni.
Puni, you're muted. Thank you, Akka. Your answer was really, really enlightening. And I love your question even more because I have a very stressful, but actually no complaints about it. I love my career, but indeed it is a very stressful career. You're dealing with building construction, and the logistics of putting our project is really, really large. So in my life, I deal more with business associates, but I have always seen that there is a huge difference between a friendship and an acquaintance. An acquaintance is not somebody you can call at 2 a.m. and request for a bit of advice or just voice your emotions out. Remember, as women, not unlike men, and I guess men are also the same, but there are times when you have to voice your emotions out. You need advice, you need that little bit of comfort in a very stressful scenario, and only a friend can give you that advice, who can pick up the phone at 2 a.m. and say, yes, Pony, what is your problem? How can I help you? Or just comfort you or listen to your the stress points at that point in time. And remember, we're all working women here. Not only do we balance our home life, but we also have to balance it with our professional life. And therefore, this business of, sharing an emotion, sharing, getting advice, you can never do it with an acquaintance. An acquaintance are like 1,000. In my particular, life, I have a zillion acquaintances, but I have a few handful friends where I can vibe with. I mean, the same group that's sitting right in front of me. I think I've troubled all of you at 2 a.m. with something or the other. And it is indeed a treasure one has in life. It is so difficult to actually find a friend, cultivate a friendship, and have that ease of communication. So indeed, friendships are definitely a must. It's a treasure. There's a huge difference between a friendship and an acquaintance or a relationship with an acquaintance. I hope I answered my question, and I'm going to move on to the next question for Rachna. What is the balance of give and take in a friendship?
Thank you, Puni and Indra. What a good insight into friendships and hurt. Give and take in a relationship, I somehow feel that friendships are not a business proposition where you give or take emotionally or you can't quantize a person's presence in your life. It's something beyond that. I somehow feel that there are lots of friends, or there are lots of situations. I have friends who are very, very affluent, very rich, and they can do so many things for me. Okay. And I cannot do it in that way, but I will definitely do it in another way. So for me, it is not about what I can give a person. It's about my presence, how I make them feel. And same way, for me, my friends have been fabulous. Touch wood. it's not for the effect of it. I have been so lucky with my relationship. And one thing is that I have never seen a relationship of what am I getting out of that. As long as I feel good in their presence, I'm very happy. If I feel confident in their presence, I'm very, very happy. If I feel myself in their presence, I am eternally grateful. So in a relationship, I have never seen that. But having said that, I have had friends who complain about, my God, I did so much for this girl. And, when I needed her, she was not around. And then I always say that it's also circumstantial. I know when Priya went through her mother-in-law passing away during the lockdown, none of us were there. But and she must be knowing that we couldn't help being there. Right? But if it was any other time, we would have sent food or we would have had their presence. So I don't think there is any relationship where we should, as long as when your gut says, this is my relationship, this is where I feel like Rachna Kumar here. Here I am confident, I'm happy. After the end of an afternoon or an evening with you girls, like, right here, it's an ode to all of you. Yes, friendship is something very, very precious. And for me, my friendships are very precious. And I've always made them worth it. Because sometimes by just cajoling a person where I have gone wrong, there are so many times I have gone wrong and somebody said, Rachna, you could have done this better. And if I'm ready for a suggestion, I also should have a way of telling, because this relationship, it's not about every day, building a bridge across to a friend's heart. It's you have built it and you have to nurture it. You have to water it. You have to see it grow, blossom. So for me, relationships are not about giving and taking, but making them. And I feel good in the presence. This is what I feel is all relationship give and take balances. So I hope, Puni, I answered your question. And on my screen, smiling is Priya, and I'm tempted to ask her that, having said the thing that I told about your mother-in-law, there are so many friends who always remember your birthdays and they remember your D-days and your anniversary and everything, but they're not around for your, for your important functions. And there are some who are always there. They don't remember your birthday. They will not remember, when your anniversary was, or which is a special day of yours, but they are there standing next to you, holding your hand in a hospital, when you're low, you're out. So which kind of friends would you prefer? Or what are the friends that you will get attracted to or would die to possess?
Great question, Rachna. It's very difficult to choose, but and especially during this pandemic, I think a lot of us have experienced the loneliness, which probably, in many instances that they would have been in situations. So, first of all, I think friendship is a blessing that can make you the happiest and most successful person, no matter what your status in society is, because friends are common. They don't choose because you're rich or you're poor or something like that. So I choose the later, as that means a true friendship to me, which means that I don't need a friend who remembers my birthday or my anniversary, but a true friend is somebody who's able to share the grief, the sorrow, the time that you want to spend with that person in times which is of grief or anything. So a true friend stands tall, doesn't need an invitation to be a part of your life. And I have experienced this many times, and I'm so thankful that I have such lovely friends in my life. So let me quote an incident of recent pandemic. See, we had a situation where we had to be quarantined, and I found that whom I have never met, and people were really friendly enough to send me food at home and ensured that everything was taken care outside my home. So that I feel, I don't even know the person, but I think that's the friendship quality that a person sees, in creating that long lasting relationship. That's the other friends are the school friends whom really you don't know, or you've not met for years, but then suddenly you catch them somewhere and we go back to the same old days. There's no time lapse that has happened in our life. So we just go back to our childhood and talk about it. And every memory of that really brings in some sort of a younger you in, and that's why I see a lot of them today have unions, the reunions and things like that, which really brings back your childhood into foray at this point of time. And I think one special thing that I need to mention is here, all these lovely women that I see on my screen, and I see the same, the mirrored reflection. We share a different kind of relationship. I don't think anyone is required to tell what you need, but I think there's always something that comes from within and not being told. So that is important. And that's why I treasure the second half of it, the question. And over to Vanita now, because I think I see a commonality between all of us here. So, Vanita, for you, how do you maintain friendship in this fast moving world where emotions have taken a backseat? I think this is a very brilliant question. I don't even have to ask you, but you know it better.
I feel in the world where emotions have taken a back seat, friendship is even more important because we cannot show our emotions in front of everyone. It's only with friends. Sometimes we will laugh out loud like it is, we will not do in front of anybody else. We should be able to cry if we are upset in front of our friends. That is what friendship is more. And in this time, we have become less emotional. I don't think so. We have become less emotional. Only thing is we are not displaying the emotions in front of everyone. As a human beings, we have emotions we need to express. It's our need to be emotional. It is like some people, they say women are more emotional. It's not like that, because we are the ones who express the emotions. And this is where friendship is. If I am upset, whatever I am feeling, whatever my emotions are at that point of time, if I'm able to express it in front of my friends, that is what I feel friendship is. So it's even more important nowadays to have friends and chat with them, laugh with them, have conversations with them, so that we are able to be, say, because when we are able to express our emotions, we are stress free. Otherwise, our emotions get piled up and we get stressed. All of us have some stresses around us. This is the way we are living in. So that is where friendship is very important, and it's all about expressing your emotions. And I had Pony was talking about true friendship, and I now have a question for Aarti. What do you think about a true friendship? What are the characteristics of a true friendship? What do you think? What person do you think that this person is a true friend for me? So I pass on to Aarti.
Thanks, Vanita. That's again an interesting question in this entire afternoon of friendships and that we've discussed. For me, I think there are different levels of friendship, which we all have, I'm sure, and will agree. There are friendships which are made for utility. It could be as simple as going to a hairdresser every other week and you strike a friendship with that person. So that I would say is a friendship of utility. There are entertainment friends which we have where you could spend a night of playing cards or go to a bar together or hang out. So they fall under another category. But if it's I wouldn't say that they are not friends. But if you look at the true friendship, is what if you're asking me, I would say true friendship begins with trust. When I can talk to somebody and I can share my difficult times, I can share, different emotions of mine and not having to worry that they are judging me. And at the same time, a true friend is somebody who's not going to nod at every problem, at every situation that I am in, or nod along with me for everything, because that even my shadow can do. I would say a true friend is one who can really guide you even when you're wrong and can point out to you that this is, hey, this is not correct and maybe you should be, do things differently. So for me, it all starts with trust, with great admiration for each other, respecting each other's lives, and not being judgmental. being able to reach out, as Pony said, at 2 a.m. Yes, a true friend is one whom you reach out to in your difficult times, not only in your great times, but also in your difficult times. And another very interesting quote that I heard once when I was attending listening to a talk show of Oprah was that there are lots of people who want to ride the limo with you, but if the limo breaks down, then there are very few who will hop onto the bus with you. And I think those are the friends we should really cherish. The ones who do not look at what you have or where you are today in life, but they've been with you in life's journey, and they still hold on to you and value you for what you are. For me, that's true friendship. Now, taking away the focus from friendship and also the platform that this is about, a lot of us working and making uh, uh, I would say being successful in whatever careers we have chosen. I'd like to bounce a question back to Renuka, and my question is a little different than the friendship questions that we've discussed so far. Renuka, you yourself have been very successful in the field that you have chosen. And we all look up to you at times, and we love the great, poise that you have around you, and you carry yourself with so much of dignity. I would like to know what advice would you like to give working women if they are struggling to create a career, or if they are already in a career and they want to take it forward from there? What do you think is that key advice that you would like to give them?
Thank you so much, Arti. You yourself are an inspiration, and I love your journey. And I'm sure the the facts or the pointers that I'm going to speak to you, I think all of us in this platform share this. So I think on behalf of all of us, I would speak to a young entrepreneur who's planning to embark on this journey. First advice that I would like to give women is, when you're planning to embark on this journey, acknowledge that this isn't going to be an easy ride. There are going to be a lot of responsibility, and not only towards yourself, but towards your team, because their livelihoods depend on your financial statements. So it is going to be a difficult ride. But having said that, imagine a seed of your passion that you're sowing, and one day you're going to see it bloom into a huge tree and creating a legacy for yourself. So I guess it's just worth it. So my advice would be, start with a pilot project and test whether the your plan is heading in the right direction, because many times there's this disconnect between passion of what you want to do and what your deliverables are. Also, this helps you to see if your pilot is financially viable and sustainable. Every business needs an incubation period, and it's very important for you all to wait it out, to be patient, because it could be weeks, it could be months, it could even be a couple of years when you see your first profit hitting. So when you're planning your finances, include all this as your capex, your capital expenditure, so that you know that you have this money, stored away for till you kind of, turn the corner. Don't be afraid to take mitigated risk, because unless you try them, you never know. Also, when you turn the corner, do the SWOT analysis. I'm sure all of you know what it is, so that you can consolidate on whatever your positives are. Uh, Again, one thing is about setbacks. People get very discouraged about setbacks. So don't, get this thing, because there is bound to have setbacks. You are bound to fail. And my mantra to handle failure is trying again, but now with experience. Don't feel shy about asking questions, because young people are very shy. Oh my God, what if I ask this question? Will I come out looking stupid? Will I come out looking like an idiot, or like a person who doesn't have knowledge? Don't be shy of asking questions. It's okay to have a mentor. It's okay to trouble that mentor, because he or she will definitely judge you into the right direction. And you and your team should be committed. They should be dedicated. They should be hardworking, and they should be intelligent, hardworking. That's what my husband said. It's not just like hardworking, hardworking. It should be intelligent, hardworking, and be open to criticism positively, because they don't surround yourself with yes people. Because the more you hear criticism, take it positively, because sometimes this really helps, because you know that maybe you need to work on yourself or your team. Lastly, always remember those angels who have appeared to help yourself, because God will give you an opportunity to be an angel yourself. I think these are little takeaways which I would like to say on behalf of all these amazing people you see on the screen who are achievers and they stand tall in their career. So, aren't I right, ladies? I mean, do you want to add anything?
I think you've summed it up very beautifully.
Very well, Renuka. Lovely. This time, I think we should, after this, all this serious thing, we must embark on some fun stuff.
I think they've got too serious. I've got something.
Yes.
Why don't we become a Karan Johar right now? Let's do a
good idea, yeah.
Good ideas. The ball is in your court, Renuka. It started.
Waiting for the coffee to come as well.
Because we don't want people. So let's just time ourselves and let's do as many rapid fires under 1 minute. And guys, keep your answers to just a line, okay? Not sentences. Are you ready?
Yes, we are ready.
Okay. Pony, your time starts now. Okay, what's the one destination, if you had the chance, you would want to go with your girlfriends and why?
Gosh, I have a very, very strange answer. I always like adventure, okay? I would like to take all of you in a rocket and zoom straight into space.
Oh my God.
If I wanted to go to space, I would take you guys along with me, seriously. On a very utopian level, but otherwise, I would like to take you all for a vacation to the Andamans. It's the world's best place ever.
Aarti, what's your favorite book or movie that celebrates female bonding and companionship?
Well, I would say it's something very a frivolous movie called Sex and the City. So why not? It celebrates a lot of great bonding, especially working around fashion and these stylish women having a holiday and a great time together. They're also bringing in a lot of their issues and all of that. So yeah.
Good. Indraka, what do most people think is true about you, but it isn't?
You'll be surprised that I'm very soft. I'm not at all soft.
Yes.
Okay.
Very hard. Rachna, what is the silliest and most fun thing you've done with your friends?
Silliest and fun thing, trying to get hold of drugs in Goa. And we thought, we are 40, we were all 40 and we wanted to do something out of the box and like a teenager and went looking for drugs. And we got hold of this Russian guy and he said, not for you guys. You look too good for the drugs. And that was it. And we came back without doing anything. So that was the funniest and the craziest close to we tried doing. And we're still so excited with the thought of it. I mean, just the thought that we went so close.
Has made you high.
Anita, if money and accessibility were no object, what would you gift your girlfriend on her birthday? Vanita, are you unmuted? Okay. I'll just repeat it. If money and accessibility were no object, what would you gift your girlfriend on her birthday? That's for Vanita.
Frozen.
No, she's not frozen. Vanita, you're
unmute. Yes.
Unmute, sweetheart. Yeah.
Yeah. Please repeat the question again. I was not able to hear.
Okay. If money and accessibility were no object, what would you gift your girlfriend on her birthday?
Money. Okay. What I feel is, I'm not able to fully understand your question, Renuka, but what I can understand is if I feel anybody, if it's my boyfriend or a girlfriend, I always feel that we need to respect that person for what they are. And we accept the person for what they are, it's always friendship. So I don't want to change the way, like we 6 people are there, 7 people are there. We are from different backgrounds. We have different perspectives. So it is not that I want you to be like me or I want Indraka to be like me. Everyone is different and good in their own ways. And that is what I feel friendship is. So it is not particular thing which I want to gift. It is the mutual camaraderie. I want to spend time. Basically, it is not about any gift, any money or anything. I just want to spend time, chat, and that is what for me friendship is.
Wow.
Lovely. Describe yourself as in 3 words as a teenager.
Was that for me?
That was for you.
Oh, just repeat the question. Sorry.
Describe yourself in 3 words as a teenager.
Naive and shy.
And third
one, naughty.
So sweet. Lovely.
Aarti, I finished. I think I've asked everyone my questions, right? I haven't left anyone. Okay. So, Pony, you want to take on?
Yeah, okay. I have one question, okay? I just want you all to address that one question, okay? So I'll start with you, Rachna.
Yeah.
If God gave you a chance to be reborn again, what would you wish to be?
A chance to be reborn?
Reborn again.
I would want to be anything I can be reborn as, from the times of the past or future.
Anything, your
past.
Completely.
I would want to be born as Mona Lisa.
Wow.
Because I feel that she couldn't smile as well as I can. And I would like to give Da Vinci my radiant smile. Definitely a Mona Lisa.
Great. Akka, what would you wish to be born as again?
Somebody like our Bharat Ratna, Abdul Kalam ji.
Yes.
Somebody like
that's a beautiful thought. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Aarti, how about yourself?
So I think my answer goes towards Rachna, because I want to be reborn as an artist, probably if I had a choice, as Michelangelo, because I love the way his work is eternal, and probably I would repaint Mona Lisa again with the Rachna smile.
Priya, what do you think?
I want to be the Diana Spencer.
Wow. Wow, she really moved the whole world with her humanitarian causes. Absolutely. And how about yourself, Vanita?
I don't want to be born again because I feel whatever I want, whatever desires I have,
happy.
Remember, God's giving you this chance
in this life, and I don't want to.
You don't want to be born again. Renu, how about yourself?
If I had to just think, be Melanie Trump and give Trump a big whack on his bum, but jokes apart, I would love to be born as a person who would have the heart and the will as Mother Teresa, and also the capabilities to be able to do what she did. So I would, when I say capabilities, God gives me, the resources so that I could just kind of reach out and help and make a difference the way she did. So definitely, she's always been my role model.
Wow.
Renuka, you're
really
I would have said you would want to be Marilyn Monroe or something like that. What boy can you get?
Whatever she has,
Rachna, she's raised the bar.
Raise the bar of goodness.
Yeah, maybe her, but then with a heart definitely to do the work.
Yes. Philanthropic heart. So beautiful. You already are. So now I will take it on, and I will ask Renuka, because you were so good. And I was thinking, what would you prefer to have, style or swag?
Why do you give me an option? I would like to have both. Come on. Both.
Yeah? More of what? A little more of what?
See, I think swag, because that's more individualistic. Style you can always have, and it keeps changes.
Yes. So good. Yeah. And what is the definition of handsome for you, Vanita? A man is handsome. When do you find him really handsome?
Again, as a person, I don't go into the physique or the physical appearance of a person. if a person can look into my eyes and I can see respect and trust in that eye, then that person is handsome for me.
Oh,
And
nice.
I can share that person should be a good listener. I can share, for me, handsome is that I another way, not as it's more about personality of a person, not the physical personality, the inner personality of a person, wherein the person is able to listen to me, not to me is very important. So it's all about respect and a good listener. That person is most handsome for me.
Wow. So, Indira, what is one quality a human being must possess or should possess?
Empathy. It is so important. Empathy, yes. That brings a lot of people together and it wins many hearts. So empathy is one factor.
Nice. Aarti, what is one quality that you're proud of having?
Well, I've been told that I can micro as well as macro manage. So I think I'm happy to have that quality. Organizational skills at both levels.
Wow, interesting. Priya, tell me, if you were a movie, what would the name of your movie be and who would play the lead? Your role.
The movie will be Unstoppable.
Lovely.
And the lead role, I would like, probably I'll choose that. I don't want to give it to Priyanka, but somebody better than her. It would be Alia Bhatt.
Oh, wow. Yes, interesting. Very interesting. Gives me another perspective to your choice. I would have thought Priyanka was rhyming with your name. And Puni, now that you're designing the Space Rocket Launch Center, tell me, who would be the first guy you would want to send to space? In your spaceship.
A real quick question. Yes, I am designing the new space center for the Indian Space Research Organization.
Oh, yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful project. We're doing the entire mission control and everything. If I was given the opportunity to choose who to go up, I would choose a woman. Do you know why? I feel women are the natural nation builders of a country. We not only give birth to the next generation, we also build the nation. So, Guy, I don't know, Rachna. I think I will root for a woman.
Guy, I would have thought Guy has a good sense of direction, can come back. The woman will be lost there, looking at what is fashionable there.
Oh my goodness, if you talk about a guy, then I don't know. The only guy I know so well and I have a lot of respect for is, as of course, my husband. I would, it's everything that I share.
Puni, don't be so boring. You are designing.
I don't know anyone else.
Come across somebody whom you don't like and don't want him back.
Oh dear God. I don't think there's any man I don't like. I feel men are manageable.
Your answer, yes. I think
men are manageable. Women, yes, that they have 10 different dimensions, which is really unfathomable at times. But a guy, I can only think of Oscar. I'll just send him up there and pray and hope he comes back.
So Priya, now your round of rapid fire.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to be a little more strict about this. The answer should be in one word, okay?
Okay.
So that we, are.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. First to Ponni, okay? Can women have it all?
Yes. Absolutely. It's how you organize your time, how disciplined you are, and how you manage people around you. Absolutely, yes.
Great. Perseverance or passion? This is for you, Indraka.
Perseverance, of course, but passion also. I would like both.
Well, this for this, rock star that we have called Rachna. For her, I wanted to think of something very different. So I'm going to ask her this: unshakable or unstoppable? What defies you?
Unshakable, definitely.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And automatically you're unstoppable. If you're not shaken enough, nobody can stop you. So yes.
Aarti, this is for you. What's one thing that completely changed your life today?
Today, I think it's gratitude that I'm on the same platform as all my friends who are also women achievers to spend a fabulous afternoon and talk about women's empowerment. So it's gratitude today.
Super. Renu, passion to purpose for you, what it is?
Definitely passion, because when you do have the passion, the purpose just follows.
I think you're following that. Super. Vanita, since you come from a family which is your husband travels almost every city every month or every year, I don't know, piecing together a career puzzle, what does it mean to you?
For me, it is once you decide something has to be done, then you always find a way out, whatever the challenges are. Once you know this has to be done, once you decide this is going to be my career, then there's no way anybody can stop you from pursuing that career.
Great. That's the end of my rapid fire questions. Over to Vanita.
Okay. Renuka, what makes you happy? One thing that makes you happy.
It is a very, I don't think it's cliche, but honestly giving. Absolutely. I mean, giving love, giving time with my family and friends. It's just the word giving. It has worked for me and gives me a lot of happiness.
Dear Pony, what makes you laugh?
My friends. It's just when I spend time with you guys, I actually, tend to smile, laugh. You guys are the best bunch of people ever. So it's my friends, you guys. You'll make me laugh in a very constructive way.
Indraka, any one word you associate with friendship? Most important thing.
Associate with?
Friendship.
Can you repeat it, my dear? Friendship. Love. That is what I associate with friendship. Unconditional, true love.
Oh, nice.
What is common between fashion and friendship?
I would say both are timeless.
Fashion and
both are timeless. If you have your style and that's timeless, and so is friendship.
What you treasure in our friendship, group of friends? What is the thing you treasure in our friendship?
I think sharing a common purpose.
The most common thing that is keeping us together. That is the thing.
The fact that we're all together is itself a treasure. I think it's like a chain. You have each pearl has got its own value. So even if you string it together or separate, they're all together. So that's what I believe.
And for dear Rachna, what is style?
Style for me is elegance. It's not about standing out, but being remembered whenever you have left a place. Elegance.
Okay, I pass on to Aarti. Yes. So, Vanita, my first question comes back to you. Apart from all the great work you're doing in your career, I also know that you're a shopaholic. So, if you were given an opportunity to raid one of our closets, who would it be and why? Whose closet would you want to raid?
I want it to be true first. Sarees, Indira, suits, Renuka. For all the Western dresses, it's Priya. For all the kurtis, it's you, Aarti. For all the neck pieces and jackets, it's Rachna. And for the black dresses, you know who it is. It's dear Pony. So it is like I want to raid all of your closets because I'm the person who likes to wear different things at different point of times.
To you, Priya, you are a marketing strategist and also mentoring people who, who are startups. I want to rebrand this group that we have, and we want to get a new name for this group. So, what is your take on that? What would you suggest?
It's going to be WOW. WOW. Wonder Women.
Wonderful women. Okay, that's great. coming to Pune, you are a workaholic, as you said. But tell us, which is one hobby or an activity you would want us all to do together, which you are going to be the team leader to?
Painting, artwork, art history, anything to do with painting, that's me. I would love to share my world of painting with you guys.
That's fabulous. Coming to Indira, give me two words which describe this beautiful friendship that we have and the group that we have of the seven of us. What are the two words you would describe us as?
Superstars and absolutely adorable.
Right. Rachna, you love fine dining and you call yourself the gourmet queen. So tell us that if we are to get together after this 1 year and would probably get invited, if we are looking forward to an invitation to your home for dinner or lunch, what is the one dish you're going to cook for all of us?
You mean to say there's just going to be one dish or one dish for sure?
We can forego the 5-course meal and there's just one dish that was given to you to impress us all with your culinary skills. Tell us what.
Okay, are you talking about, it could be a batter, which commonly I can use for making the other?
You need to impress us with just one dish.
I will take a waffle batter because I can make a starter with it. I can make my main course with it and I can make a dessert with it. So I would go for a waffle platter, which will have a mushroom starter and a main course of cheesy waffle pizza and a cream and strawberries for girls for their dessert. So this is what I would look at.
That's you unstoppable. I said one dish, but you took that one back, but you created a 5-course out of it. That's great. Looking forward to it. And lastly, do we ask Renuka something here, or?
Renuka needs rapid fire questions and not question.
So then I bring it back to Indira to ask us questions.
Rachna, this question is for you. When I wrote this question, you were the one who came to my mind. Does age and sex deter you from making friends? Yes or no, and why?
If you meant the sex of the guy or the girl, it will not. The age of a guy, if he was, crossed one of the age, then I would not make friends with him. He has to be of a certain age for a guy to make friends with. But that's on the humorous side of it. But definitely it is no age, no bar, no sex bar. It is about how interesting a person is for me. It's just about that. I've never not shakeable like Priya. I told Priya about if I have to make friends with a guy or a girl. I'm happy making friends, but as long as they're interesting, and that's all that matters.
Wonderful, Rachna. Typical of you.
Yes.
Next to Ponni. What will be the 3 attributes you expect in your best friend?
First off, it would be trust. Second, it would be understanding. And third, a lot of love. These are the 3 attributes that I would expect from a friend.
Great, Ponni. Now this is to Vanitha. What is the major factor that makes or breaks a friendship? What is the major factor?
Makes friendship is trust and breaks friendship is gossip.
Okay. Now this is to Priya. You are suddenly given a bonanza of 10 crores, but you have to leave the country immediately. You want the money to be kept safe. Whom would you leave it with? Your friend or your sister?
I leave it with my friend. One, I trust that. And second thing, I don't have a sister. So I have a choice, is only a friend.
Which one?
I don't have a sister.
I'm waiting.
Okay, this is for you. You're going on a holiday with your best friend. Mention 3 things you would do to make her feel very special. Aarti, this is for you.
So I would say not 3 things. I can suddenly think of one thing because I'm a lot on my phone and that's because of my work, not for any other reason. I would totally switch off my phone and spend every waking hour with my friend to make her feel special. So I think that is what I would do, apart from the other girly things that follow to make her feel special. But I think I would do that. And thank you. And can I take it from here if we've done all the questions?
One more question to Renu, just one more minute. You see a complimentary news item and a photo of your friend in a newspaper. What will your reaction be and what will you do?
Raka, I am assuming that beautiful person is you, and I see your picture and I see your photo, and I'm going to first of all pick up the phone and yell, Indra, have you seen this picture? Your picture is found. And then I'm going to call.
Thank you.
Indra's pictures come on national television in the front line.
Oh my.
I would forget the protocols, COVID protocols, and maybe just come physically with the hug. I'm just keeping you and anyone, anyone in our group in that mind aware. I would definitely call and find out whether you know that you're in the news or, I would do that.
Thank you, my dear. Now I pass it on to you.
So I held on my last question for Renuka before we summarize today's afternoon that we spent together. I think we've all had fun, and thanks to Renuka for initiating all this. What is the one quote that comes to your mind to summarize today's morning now into the afternoon?
Thanks. I think I read somewhere that in 1821, women thought about their rights. Then a century later, in 1921, women fought for their rights. And in 2021, women are always right.
That's a fabulous way to sum up, I think, the afternoon that we spent together. And Renuka, over to you.
Absolutely. And girls, I think we had such a lovely time. And, I thought this was to be a 30-minute show, but then I think...
Yeah, we've lost track.
A lovely time.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you, Renuka. This was really lovely, memorable Women's Day. And yes, to spend all this. Yes, Dil Chahe More. Dil More.
More and the waffle batter is...
Yes, of course. Yes.
Renu, lovely way to celebrate International Women's Day. Beautiful.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Renu, for a fabulous morning.
Yes.
Truly.
Thank you all for that. And thank you for agreeing. And we had such a wonderful time. And happy Women's Day to all my precious friends.
Same to you.
Happy Women's Day.
Happy Women's Day.
Yes.